Bradford City midfielder Ryan East has today completed a season-long loan move to National League outfit Rochdale AFC, and in this video I will be bringing you guys my thoughts and opinions on this news. If you do go on to enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on this move down below. Now, me personally, I don't really agree with this. I think Ryan East deserved more game time from the glimpses that we've seen of him last season. I think he deserved more first team football, and this move for him, I was really surprised to see him drop down into the National League. I think he's more than good enough to be playing for League 2. There's an argument he should actually be starting for Bradford City, and obviously our aim this season is to win the league, so it's certainly an interesting move. I think the reason why he's probably gone down to the National League, he's probably wants to stay up north. You know, since he's moved from Swindon, coming up to Bradford, he's probably had to move house for that, and he then doesn't want to be moving another couple of hours away for another loan move where he could potentially be coming back in January. Now, I've had a quick glimpse of both articles and there's no mention of a recall option in there. I think it was in Swindon's article about Jake Young that there was obviously the option to recall him, but for me personally, I think he did deserve more game time now with our midfield options. Was his game time going to be limited this season? Potentially, but I feel like if Hughes was picking players based on performances, East would have played a lot more last season, because there were times where he'd come in for a game, play really well, and then we wouldn't see him in the squad for the next 6 or 7 games. So it was the way he's been treated and handles, I feel like, is a little bit disrespectful to me, in my opinion. From what I've seen of Ryan East, I think he's more than good enough to be playing for Bradford City. But make sure to drop a like on there for me, subscribe if you're new as well, and let's get into it. So Bradford City tweeted at 3 PM today saying Ryan East has joined Rochdale AFC on a season-long loan. Their article does then read, East heads to Rochdale on loan. Ryan East has joined National League side Rochdale on a season-long loan. The midfielder joined the Bantams last summer and has made 26 appearances in Claret and Amber to date. He now heads to the Crown Oil Arena, where he will spend the remainder of the 2023-24 campaign. Bradford City AFC would like to wish Ryan the very best throughout his spell at Rochdale. Now, if we have a look at some of the replies from the Bradford City fans, a lot of people asking, you know, what's going on here? Why? Simple equation, young lad needs game time, not come off the bench for a few minutes here and there. Plus, they can hopefully give him it, because we clearly aren't going to be doing it anytime soon. Wish him the best of luck, see how he does. Someone else says it's a shame, but he needs to play week in, week out. Another one here says, good loan, not going to get a sniff here, deserves some playing time and can do with freeing up some, and then a couple of pound signs, so I presume he does mean wages, for some loans of our own. Someone else here says, right idea, never able to nail down a regular place anywhere he's been. Some people think he's Dezan, they also think Folds is Roberto Carlos. Another person here says, was never going to play, frees up wages for everybody else. Another one here says, tidy player, look decent every time he's played, offers something different to Smallwood and McDonald. Yes, well in that case we better loan him out to a National League side. And the final one we will read is, disappointed with this, always looked full of energy when he comes in, desperately needs some more depth in before the window closes. Obviously, Rochdale tweeted at 3 PM saying, welcome to the Dale, Ryan East. Their article does then read, Ryan East joins Dale. Rochdale Football Club is delighted to announce the signing of Ryan East. The midfielder joins on loan from Bradford City until the end of the season. East is a product of the Reading Academy, having signed his professional contract with the Royals in the summer of 2016. He was an integral part of their under-23 side for a number of seasons and made his first team debut in March 2019. The now 22-year-old left Reading for Swindon in the summer of 2021, where he made 23 appearances in all competitions as they finished in the League 2 playoffs. East joined the Bantams on a 2-year deal last summer, appearing 26 times for Mikey's side last season. I presume that is in all competitions. We'll be catching up with our new midfielder, as well as getting head coach Jim McNulty's thoughts later this week. He will wear the number 4 during his time at the club. Welcome to the club, Ryan. Now, like I say, I think this will be an absolutely brilliant move for Rochdale. I think he'll be one of the best midfielders in the league, in my opinion. He really does suit Jim McNulty's style of play. He wants to get the ball on the floor. Very good distributor of the ball. Left-footed as well. You know, it's not as common you get a left-footed player, especially with someone of his technique. I think he's technically absolutely brilliant. Got a real engine on him as well. You know, he never really stops running. He's a brilliant presser of the ball. Can play as a 6 or as an 8 as well, depending on the formation that you play. And I think, again, that versatility, he could work well with Adam Clayton. Obviously, them two linking up after being with Bradford City last season. And I think this is a shame, to be honest, especially the fact that it's not just until January, because, you know, we could now go and sign a loan in until the end of the season, and it could be a lot worse than Ryan East, and that is going to be a big problem, because we've seen that with our loan players, there's been more that have flopped rather than done well. Obviously, we have had some that have done well, like Banks, like Critchlow, like Tyreek Wright, but apart from that, none of the other loan players since Steven Gent's come in have really worked. So we clearly need another central midfielder in that position. In terms of how our squad is now lining up, I think we are a little bit weak still in a number of positions, to be honest with you. You know, I look at that team and I think we do need another central midfielder now. Now, obviously, you got Smallwood and McDonald, very similar types of players. Gilead seems like he's going to play more as a wing-back role this season. Patterson's a nailed-on starter, and Osadibe is, well, he's Emmanuel Osadibe. He doesn't really offer all too much. And I think we do need another box-to-box holding midfielder type, just because there's going to be so many yellow cards this season. We're going to pick up a few one-game suspensions with the new injury time rules in there as well. You're going to be playing 100, 110 minutes every single game. Saturday, Tuesday, you're going to need that rotation. I think Ryan East would have been a really good player to bring in because he's got the legs, and none of our other midfielders who play in Ryan East's position, which is a bit more of a defensive box-to-box type role, like Smallwood and McDonald don't have the legs and the mobility that Ryan East has. And I think I remember Mark Hughes saying he doesn't want any player to leave, so anyone who does leave will be on their own accord. And you know, you can't blame him for wanting to go out and get first team football, because I think he's more than good enough to do that, and I do not blame him for doing that whatsoever. But I feel like he did deserve more. You know, we saw it last season. He came in for Salford away and Mansfield at home, two games that really stick out for me, and he was absolutely brilliant in both games, absolutely outstanding. And then he was dropped for the next game, which just seemed absolutely ludicrous to me. I think Gilead was unavailable for the Salford game and Smallwood was unavailable for the Mansfield game, and East came in for both of them. It was absolutely brilliant, and then he just didn't seem to appear in the squad after that, which was just a massive shame. You know, he only made the 5 starts for us last season in all competitions, in the league, 18 appearances in total, got 1 assist in there, a 92% passing accuracy in his own half. Defensively, his stats are pretty poor. You know, statistically, he doesn't look good, to be honest. You know, 0.4 interceptions per game, 0.5 tackles per game, 0.3 clearances per game. Only wins 51% of his total duels, 54% on the ground, 46% in the air. And you look at that and you think, yeah, well, that's not, his stats aren't great, but I feel like from what I saw of Ryan, he was always really tidy on the ball, kept things ticking, and he had energy. He was press resistant. He was a very good presser himself, and I think that's a little bit of a shame for me because of how much football we're going to be playing this season. Someone with Ryan East's legs and mobility, I think, would have been really key. But if he doesn't feel like he's going to get the first team football here, then you cannot blame him whatsoever for wanting to go out and get that somewhere else. Now, I know they're slightly different types of players, but Emmanuel Osadibe and Ryan East, I'm sure if you ask the majority of the fan base, if you had to keep one, the majority would go with Ryan East, in my opinion, because Osadibe, since his injury, has just not offered anything whatsoever. In pre-season last year, looked really good, but this year just doesn't really look interested half the time. You know, I remember on Saturday, he lost the ball, and then he was just jogging back, no real intent to try and win that ball back, whereas Ryan East, every time he lost the ball, he'd be sprinting, closing down, trying to win that ball back. And you know, you saw Osadibe, he came on in the 70th minute. By the 95th minute, he was absolutely blowing, and I remember Sam Stubbs absolutely screaming at Osadibe because he couldn't be bothered to track his runner. Again, he was just jogging, being a little bit lazy, and Ryan East, I don't think would do that. Now, like I say, they're slightly different positions. Osadibe is more of an attacking number 8, whereas East is a bit more defensive number 8. But if I had to pick one to keep, I'd personally go with Ryan East, and the fact that we've let him go and not let Osadibe move on just seems absolutely ludicrous. You know, I remember Ryan Sparks saying Osadibe was meant to be a man, along with Jamie Walker last season, who would get 10 goals and 10 assists for us last season. I don't even think he'll enter the box 10 times from what I've seen of him so far. So really, really disappointing in my opinion. And the final thing I want to talk about, the most important thing, Coffee Club. It's been completely ripped apart. Last season, the main 4 were Harry Lewis, Scott Banks, Jake Young, and Ryan East. And now Harry Lewis is still here, although there were strong rumours, you know, a couple of weeks ago he was going to Barnsley. Scott Banks is playing in the German 2nd Division. Jake Young's playing for Swindon, and Ryan East is now playing for Rochdale. So Harry Lewis is going for a coffee every morning on his own now. Brilliant for squad morale, that, isn't it? Overall then, for me, I would have personally liked to see him stay, but you cannot blame him whatsoever for wanting to go out and play that first team football. I'd be interested to see now who the player is going to come in that will be to replace Ryan East. Obviously, we still don't know what's going to happen with John Kaimani Gordon. It seemed like it was a done deal last week, so I'm not really too sure what's going on with that. I think he was actually involved in Crystal Palace's matchday squad on Saturday, so fingers crossed he is still signing for us. I'm going to leave it there for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on this move for Ryan East as he heads out on loan to National League side Rochdale AFC until the end of the season. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all at 8 o'clock o'clock tonight for the Stockport away match preview. Peace.